Both races are ready. Good luck. Have fun. Let me check if any of these races have any previous results at the moment. And also, actually start the timer. There we go. Like Parker is rolling with the whooper. Does anyone have an ASCII whooper to post in chat? And Kupie is rolling with a good old tuxedo cadence, having an early reset after getting grabbed by a monkey. There's a tier 3 wall that could be a food shop. Parker, meanwhile, finding a blood dagger, which is probably not going to see too much value out of that. But still, if you just somehow end up killing enough enemies while also being hurt, then you will, maybe? Question mark. Ring of Charisma for Kupie. It's going to check this blood shop here. Everything is going to be half a heart. Thank you to that ring. Charisma, definitely a ring that isn't well loved, but still can be nice. I've definitely seen it save some people from time to time. It's definitely saved me in races before. But it looks like Parker will just take the spear. Did not go into a blood shop with the charisma, so the torch cost 1 whole heart as opposed to Kupie's 1/2. Kupie, meanwhile, will spend 1 heart in order to get both the torch and the spear. I think I would just take just the spear, but torch is pretty good. I think it's more good than you often realize, especially early on when there's no other form of mapping. Yeah, that's a glass cat for Kupie. I would not swap to that. I mean, Obsidian Spear is a perfectly serviceable weapon. But Glass Cat's very fast, and not the most safe, actually. Tap in the Glass Shrine. Kupie is zooming along. Is that a bat roll? I sure hope it wasn't, but I believe that was a bat roll. But it's fine. The bat decided to cooperate if it was. I'm just gonna assume it wasn't from this point onward, because that would... I don't want to think about what could have happened there. So, Kupie, moving on to Zone 3. Parker's spending a bit more time in Zone 2. We'll find some grenade charms. So, finding a trap of Foresight as well, somewhere in Zone 2. That is a Shriner. Kupie taking the Thinking Shrine. It is a Warhammer. He swapped off from one of the most volatile and fast weapons to one of the most safe. weapons, but safe doesn't necessarily mean slow. You can definitely move along with the Warhammer with how many enemies you're hitting, especially with any rings of piercing. Oh, that's a hit for Kupi. Going shovel-less into King Konga, and also on half a heart. It is an Obsidian Warhammer. Getting snagged on that beetle there, and then taking a massive Minotaur hit. Parker is also on half a heart, so... You're taking darkness on half a heart. Although does finds cookies, okay. That will help. Forbidden potion for Kupi, we'll drink that. It's gonna have some purple hearts to work with, which is better than 1/2 of red heart, but still could come back to bite you if you find food or something. And you have already taken a hit. And Parker going down to Fire Beetle. Ham in the back pocket, half a heart. Could have eaten that for 3.5 hearts of ham. Was moving along pretty slowly, playing pretty scared there. So yeah, that'll leave some space for Kupi to work. And he finds a bit of protection and a shovel. All is fine. And that is a chicken to recover all of Kupi's health back into Red Heart territory, which might not end up making a difference, but always better to have the red hearts than the purple ones, just in case. Kupi swapping off from charisma to luck. We'll be able to run past some bats freely. Not like they need that to happen, right? Because I would never roll a bat with the glass cat. That won't happen. But just in case, there's now that ring. Conjure for Kupi. Help round out this build. Go in for the armor conjures. We'll end up with obsidian to heavy glass and ending on the good old reliable Squaga suit. So it's currently up to 2 hearts of protection. Don't know how Necrodancer protection works. It is your protection points is how many you take the attack, and then you subtract it by how much protection you have. In this case, Kupi has 1/2 from the Squaga suit, and I mean, one and a half from the Squaga suit and 1/2 from the Hargreaves in the feet slot, so a total of 2. So you take enemy damage, you subtract 2 in this scenario, and then that's your new damage. But, of course, you may be asking, like, what if that number is less than 0? You won't get healed, obviously. It caps off at half damage for every hit. There, of course, there's glass armor, which will make you invincible for how many hits you have on that heavy glass, or one hit. If you're rolling the classic heavy glass, which is helpful for characters where you are not allowed to take a hit. Anywho, Kuppi's cruising along. Definitely engaging the slow play procedures to good effect here. Are pretty much just had weapon in ring, and then realized Parker died, which allows them to slow down. Parker going again, sighing in chat, it's fine. Squandered that one. You didn't squander anything. Dying is part of the game, and you shouldn't feel bad for dying. Even though dying does feel really bad. It's like... I feel like that's like one thing that doesn't receive enough note is how tough it is to handle dying sometimes. Just get those seeds sometimes, true, yeah. Poopy's handling it fine though, so we won't be stuck here for a while. And nerves, yeah. Nerves is something that should naturally lessen the more you race. Just keep at it. Koopy's not doing lures. I do not approve. Do lures. It's fine. We have a flawless oblivion. And a bit more protection for Koopy. Not enough bombs here. Going into the Necrodancer. So we'll have to touch some butts. Some good old butt puzzles. Kind of nice to have the holsters, be able to swap to this. Rapier for reduced snag. Dorian taking 2 hits though. Been getting a lot of bomb dry seeds lately. Seems to be a pretty common issue at times. I mean, you did spend quite a bit of time in Zone 2, so if there were gonna be bombs, it's gonna be there, and there were no bombs. So, there. And if you got to Necrodancer, never had enough bombs. Yeah, if that happens and your opponent finds bombs, you just have to be like, okay, fine, thanks, game. It is one of the topics that is talked about, is start with 3 bombs for CoNDOR mod, but wasn't deemed enough to warrant a change, it seems. But GG's to Koopy for taking the first point of this set. With the very anti-spicy measures, with the slow play procedures. Nonetheless, finishing with a 13:27 was definitely on pace for a run faster than that before the slow play. Yes, Mins, I rolled that one bad. No. Well, it went well. From a results perspective, it went well. If you're still listening, Parker, Koopy was definitely running a razor-thin margin on that seed, so... still have your shot, if you're wondering. Anywho, GG's again to Kupi for taking first point of this set. If you're new here, which I don't think anyone is, but if you are, I think I should do the if you're new here things for maybe like the first week. That sounds good. I'll start doing it a bit less. But if you're new here, we play 3 points to a set. No matter the result, it isn't best of 3, so it could either be a 2-1 or a 3-0. No matter what, that third point of a set will always be played. Given there isn't any extreme circumstances. But even if there is, usually what ends up happening is the race is postponed, and that point is played later. I do have an update from the race going on concurrently here. Let's wait for the racers to be ready. Goof is currently 1 point up on Yuka. And you can catch that race. It's currently being commentated on Tic Tac Foe's channel. An easy way to access Necrodancer content during CoNDOR X2 is to just check the Crypt of the Necrodancer category on Twitch. And you'll be able to find streams of races, people practicing, or commentaries just like this one. And another great way is to use the schedule, which you can find at the website condor.live/schedule. And I believe I have a command for that, but it might be a bit old. Let me just quickly update it. No, it's a generic one. I'll update that. Schedule. Wow. Let's check out that link. I hope this link works. It's the right link. It seems to be the right link. Let's go. Seeds have been entered. Both racers on this shiny new but old, but also with new technology contained in this mod, which is there are colored borders that are only visible if you are too zoomed out compared to CoNDOR zoom, which is surefire warning. Then if you're like barely on CoNDOR zoom, or if you just forget, which happens. It happens. Early Shriner for both races. Could be opting for blood weapon strategy. That will allow Kupi to bomb for this Ring of Peace. Or Ring of War if it's something like a rapier, something that goes well with war. While also being able to lead with an early blood weapon. that is a pretty heads-up play. I really like that choice, and that is not something that I would have thought of. So, pretty smart. Looks like there's a pack of 6 bombs here. Parker's prayers for having enough bombs for the Necrodancer fight has been answered, unless they end up needing to use that bomb for something. Kupi finding a boss shrine. Will bomb it for cheese? I think damage up would have been play there. You do have a blood weapon already. Those 2 hearts will come to you eventually, if you can stay alive, which shouldn't be the biggest of problems with this armor. But it's also good to have enough health. Kupi's leaving behind Boots of Pain. It's fine, that thing hurts you, it hits you pretty hard, but given the current build, it's a great choice. Never played Necrodancer before? I recommend it. It's my favorite game, and it's lovely. Parker finding a Squagus suit, and we'll pick up the Pain boots. We'll pass on the Titanium Broadsword. It is the locally known weapon as Bad Sword, but still, it's 2 damage. Watch it, but suck at this sort of game? This game's hard. It's it's hard. Everyone sucks at it at first. There's also nothing quite like it, so this sort of game might not be what you expect. Who's winning? It's currently pretty close. In the bottom right of both races' screens, you can see a progress number. Here it currently says depth 2 and level 1. So we would be on 2- run right now. There is 2-1, 2-2, 2-3, and then Zone 2 boss, or 2-4. And then it moves on to the next zone. So that'd be 3-1, etc. And there are a total of 5 zones. The 5th zone, spoilers, having 2 bosses. Anywho, catching up on the race here. Looks like sunglasses pick up for both racers. Parker swapping off to Obsidian Sphere. What is the loot under the person on the left? That is the points indicator. Slap on some loots to indicate the current score. Kupi is currently up 1-0. And we play 3 points, no matter what. So, the result varies. It can end up being a 3-0 victory or a 2-0 victory for one of the racers. And the more points you win, the better you do, pretty much. The better your score will be as a result of this match. Which means you'll get matched up against harder opponents, etc. But the way the season works is it's dubbed as a Battle Royale format, which means you can challenge whoever you want. It's whether they accept or not is a different question, but you can challenge whoever you want to a match, and winning against an opponent that is significantly better than you will be a lot better than just winning against opponent that's worse than you, or someone that is around equal. Why am I not playing? I am! Speaking of, I'm currently signed up for a tournament. I have a match scheduled this Friday. Oh, Koopy! Come on. That is, that's not good. Blowing themselves up and then further fudging around. They did not expect the shopkeeper to not move, so pressed down in order to deal the finishing blow, but the shopkeeper wasn't there because that wasn't set up properly. That's like the most bread and butter shopkeeper kill. So that was probably just like, eh. Why am I muted? Whoops. Anywho. Oh jeez, what is happening? There we go. Anywho, I was saying that's the most basic shopkeeper kill. Like, that's something that every racer, from beginner to the most advanced, should know. So that's just, I'll just chalk that up to having a momentary lapse in concentration. That echo is cool, the reverb. Yeah, that's I don't know what happened there, but my mic switched to the not for my voice, but for saxophone microphone settings. Koopy throwing, question mark. Koopy is not throwing. They are a staff member of this tournament, so I sure hope for the integrity of this tournament that one of the staff members are not throwing. Koopy wouldn't throw. Koopy's a great person. I have an update from the race that is currently going concurrently to this. The results are in. Goof with a 3-0 victory over Yuka. Not too much to say. Parker's currently building up an entire arsenal of bombs. I would throw, though. I have no integrity. Thinking emoji. I don't know why you would say that. I am pretty much throwing because I haven't played this game for half a year. And I'm just gonna play my tournament matches as my practice and warm-up, so I guess that could be considered throwing, but it's out of laziness. Looks like both racers dropping the flawless on their respective bosses. Parker not getting the stair heal. Need to check what that was. Forgot. Instead of going for... Hey! That's not throwing. Thanks for the follow, Marshy. I need to remember to turn off notification noises because some racers listen into commentary. And I don't want to scare them with a loud noise like that. Whoops. I'll just leave it off for the next 4 months. It's fine. That's probably the best idea. So, on to the dead ringer for Parker. Do lures, please. Looks like lures. We have lures! Let's go! If you don't, I mean, I guess if you don't do lures when you're miles ahead of your opponent, then you are throwing. Because you're significantly lowering your chances at victory. People who swear off lures don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. Unless you're a select few people. But not even Spoody is one of those select few people, in my book at least. I mean, Spoody could probably pull it off, but lures are great. So, you don't even have to. It shouldn't even be a question. You can get that tier 3 for free. Ooh. Pog. But anywho, looks like Parker taking their first point of this tournament. Having an arsenal of bombs after complaining about it. This is evidence that complaining about Necrodancer in Twitch chat is confirmed to work. Started spamming bugs, yeah. Smiley face, game listened to me. It did. Oh my. That's like 10 bombs in zone 4. It's pretty pog champ. Hello there, Avtad. So yeah, GG's. Second point will go to Parker, making this a 1-1. No, now that I think about it, I haven't seen the infamous purple screen that has been plaguing CoNDOR and Necrodancer commentary. So that's neat. Oh, that's a good point. I was doing a few dry runs of the commentary with MacSG yesterday. Because of the purple screen, I want to see if it popped up. It never popped up. You have a few choices. Oh, there's a shop wall mimic. I completely missed that. That makes sense. So that's not a shop kill that you ever see get messed up. Because it's so simple. I mean, well, it's fine if you mess it up. It's like, beat drops happen from all sorts of reasons. Well, me too, until I started bombing Freddy. And you're like, Wow, the game did you really dirty. That's rude. That's very, very rude. That was so rude that I missed it and would have died as well. I think a lot of people would have. Dang. Freddy's Revenge. That shop was a trap. There's a low chance of Freddy getting you killed with that booby trap, and it worked. Should have taken, yeah, of course. Like, in hindsight, often when you see new threats, you're gonna be like, okay, I'll avoid it. and then you'll completely forget that there's Freddy chasing after you. Oh yeah, of course. But like, just naturally, we're just more naturally inclined to react to immediate threats as opposed to not necessarily the biggest threat. And obviously, that shop mimic was like, hello! And it was like, I hope you're having fun! And then that's when Freddy swoops in to finish you off. So yeah, Freddy's plan worked. After all the Freddy murder, he's tired of dying. I don't even know how that works. I'm assuming like every seed's like a different universe or something, but someone who's more inclined on necrodancer or lore could tell me their theories instead. Anywho, very, very early blood shop filled with 3 weapons for both races to choose from, but seems like the only good option is an obsidian flail, so both races will roll with that. We have a leprechaun milking from Koopy. So, Koopy with an early luck charm and a decent-ish weapon. And this is a food shop for Parker as well. No way to deal damage to the shopkeeper, though, with that obsidian flail. We'll just buy the heart container. Koopy, having done the leprechaun milking, will be able to buy both the heart container and the chicken. The chicken seems to be something Parker needs right now, given they have 3 empty heart containers. I would probably just heal that up. It's probably gonna be worth the time. And given the nature of screen watching, you can just catch on back up. That is the con about screen watching, is that it encourages you to go slower than your opponent. And like, if you're racing, you should never be encouraged to be slower than your opponent, right? So, yeah. That being said, I personally believe that the benefits from screen watching far outweigh all of the cons. All of the benefits are well worth it. But there's definitely some downsides. So we have a bit of a decision divergence here. Koopy will take the titanium rapier, and Parker will take the courage ring. So we'll be sweeping the floor with this obsidian flail. The issue is, when damage is low, it can get a bit hairy. So just needs to keep this combo alive, but it's not the most important thing. A thinking shrine for Parker, it looks like a cutlass of the titanium variety, maybe? Can't be sure. They currently are on 2 multiplier. Parker leaving behind the blood shovel. You take the blood shovel. I mean, you do have the blood drum, but you might not keep it. Blood shovel's better in the necrodancer fight, and is pretty much a direct upgrade, given you don't accidentally dig things that you don't want to dig, and you get hurt from doing that. So Parker will swap from the obsidian flail to the glass flail with a safety weapon in the back pocket. It's definitely not bad. It's either an obsidian or titanium cutlass. I still haven't paid enough attention to make that judgment. So yeah, this is like pretty much complete build divergence. Was it rapier? Wait, it's a rapier? Second you thought Parker took 2 flails. Double flail. When my glass flail breaks, we got backup flail. But yeah, we have like complete build divergence. Okay, the armor is the same now. But both races having goo protection boots, but they're the different goo protection boots. The shovels are different, the weapon is different, the ring is different. Parker does not have respell. But common factor between both races was the blood kill. So both races will have swap. Swap to your holstered weapon, please. There we go. Parker needs Frost Dagger. Elad Repellent doesn't count unless Elad is commentating, I believe. Yeah, it's Cutlass. It doesn't, yeah. I believe previously the stipulation was that it had to be on Elad's channel. But like sometimes Elad's channel is used without Elad commentating. Sometimes we have guest commentators on Elad's channel, so I guess that's why that stipulation changed wording a bit since, I don't know, for a while now probably. Anywho, Kupi with the flawless Deep Blues will be able to get themselves a heal spell to complement this freeze spell. So yeah, both races having a pretty good build. I'd like Kupi's a lot better, though. Parker taking a hit on Deep Blues will miss out on the heal spell. Does have the Crown of Thorns, though. Okay. that was a push through 3-1. I was scared for Parker there. Parker picking up the Blood Cat without any damage ups besides the newly acquired Battle Shovel, which is pseudo damage up. Sometimes get infinite damage. That means on average you have infinite damage due to how math works, but it's, I mean, it's not nearly as cool as it sounds, having an average of infinite damage. Ooh, solid Blood Drum use there. Yeah, also more infinite damage from the Blood Drum as well. Yeah, already had an average of infinite damage, so even more infinite damage. Extra infinity. Parker's definitely pushing here. Wants to catch up. Right! It's not infinite damage, it's just 999. That is true. But it wasn't gonna be practically infinite damage anyways. It's 999 damage is practically infinite damage. Unless you play like modded Necrodancer where the enemies have like 1 billion health. But that still doesn't mean you'll have practically infinite damage. Because you won't have infinite damage most of the time. Infinite damage, but in quotes. Anywho, Parker, who has been pushing. Definitely pushing hard, but Koopy's just cruising along comfortably. Which is definitely the place you want to be. As opposed to a frenzied push. Oh, you holster that. You holster that. It's a phasing dagger. You holster that. There isn't, like, the boss kills, yo. No. Could just roll with Cutlass. I just roll with Cutlass. You have a Crown of Thorns as regen. You need that damage up in order if you want to stay up. Maybe if the Whooper had longer legs. Maybe if the Whooper had arms. Then again, I don't have arms. I have wings. I don't know how that works. Ah! Hey, Parker going down. Well, that's unfortunate. Well, I missed most of that in that replay, but I guess you can see that, the death. The last beat of the death, which tells you nothing. That's kind of insulting. How poorly that timing is. Goofy, meanwhile, well, that's extra safety. But you never know. Koopy does not do lures. Anti-lure gang. I don't approve. So yeah, things can still go horribly wrong. Maybe I should just start wishing horrible things to happen to racers who don't do lures. And then they die, and then I can laugh at them without feeling any remorse, because they didn't do lures. Kappa. Nah, that's a bad idea. So what if the racer doesn't know how to do lures? Then I'm just bullying them for no reason. Also, why is... Okay, I realize. My replay hotkeys switches my mics. I'm gonna fix that now. Look at this, it's not lures, but it's a flawless. Okay, fine. I'll shut up. It's not how commentate. It's not supposed to be commentator's curse. It's just lures being bad. Kappa. There we go. Okay. Yeah, we got Dorian for Koopy. Lures bad. Lures great. Lures are great. Do lures. Yeah, you pushed hard. It was a very valiant effort. But Koopy was just cruising along. Wasn't really much you could do. And GG's, Koopy will take this 2-1